We are crossing live to Absrod Oval, where the Scodfather will speak to the press.
I heard that he is in a grumpy mood.
Hello everybody, welcome to my channel and thank you for joining. Now in today's episode we have the Saturday night and the Sunday night press conference just coming down. Now we're going to go through all four games in complete detail, okay, because there's a lot to discuss. Some of the spuds that we seen in the past, they think they can play now, that they can become studs. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, we're going to talk about these spuds and some other players and some possible new spuds that we're noticing right now. Just coming down. Now, we go to the Essendon and St Kilda game, and this is where the Spuds, it was a return of the Spuds this week, okay, and Nick Martin, Spud Martin, and Spud Bonner, they had a day out, okay. Now, I want to explain to you something now, okay, before you get too excited. Now, have a look, okay, at Essendon. All right, now what do you notice? Dyson Heppel, 139. Nick Martin, or Spud Martin, 136. Okay, Andrew McGrath, 110. Okay, let's go down. Ben McKay, 98. Mason Redman, 90. So 5 of their top 7 players, all right, are defenders against St Kilda. Now, in this game, it's a game where they have to win, okay? There's no midfielders. There's only Zach Meritt in there and Joe Caldwell. He's not even a midfielder. So where's the scoring coming from? It's coming from defence. Now, against St Kilda, defenders score really well, okay? That St Kilda, they just let the defenders kick the kick in defence because they block pretty much all the passages. So the defenders of the opposition team don't have anywhere to go. So what happens is it means that defenders then play kick to kick, trying to find open spaces. Okay, that's what happens. So with Essendon, their top 5 defenders, or the 5 defenders between them, average 114. Now that's not normal. Okay, and so you're not going to get 5 players from the same team, all defenders averaging 114 most weeks. Okay, unless they're playing St Kilda. So these scores, even though they look good, don't get too excited by them. Okay, that's what I'm trying to tell you now. So remember I told you that when you own Nick Martin, he's going to give you a big game. Okay, well this was the one. He had 44 touches. He went nuts. Okay, now he had this big game. So what's going to happen here? You can't get rid of him. You're stuck with him now. That's what a con artist does. He lures you in. He's like fishing. He's got you. You can't escape. You're trapped. Just coming down. Well, you're actually stuck with him, okay, because there's no way you can get rid of him now. Scored 136. He's got that score in a two extra weeks in a scoring cycle. He's going to make cash. Why would you trade him out? So you've got him now. He's lured you in, and you can't get rid of him. You just got to hope that he plays well, and his next couple of opponents aren't easy either. Now, Zach Meritt, on the other hand, he's a player we need to bring in. It's just a matter of how we're going to do this, okay? It's a bit of a problem. Let's have a look at his draw. Now, Zach Meritt, his previous scores, what are they? A 127, a 132. I mean, these are all good captain scores, and another 130 this week, although he was going quiet, okay, until the last quarter. He scored, well, I think it was like 50 points. But that's what Zach Meritt does. He's an impact player, and damaging by foot, and he can cause havoc. So, coming up next for Zach Meritt is Port Adelaide. Now, Port Adelaide, the chances are very high they're going to tag him, okay? They have a tagger, okay? You're going to use that tagger, and they're going to tag him. Against the Western Bulldogs, they got Libba in there. Now, we don't know if Libba is going to play 4 quarters, because this week he played 3 quarters, because the coach is not the normal coach that we have on the other 17 teams. Okay, his name is Bevo. Just come it down. Anyway, we'll talk about him in a minute. And we've got the best midfielder in the game that's playing full forward. Okay, so we don't know what's happening with their midfield. So maybe if they play these two guns, one of them for 3/4 and one of them at full forward, we might see Meritt have a good game. We don't know. But against Adelaide, he's got another tough game. Okay, and they're hard to score against as well, the Adelaide midfielders. So he's got 3 tough games coming up. Although the Dogs game, we don't know yet. Then he's got Collingwood, who are a lot easier to score against. They don't tag, okay, and they're a bit more loose, okay. So Collingwood's easier to score against. Then he's got West Coast. You can't grab him at the Collingwood game because if he scores 100s in these 3 games, okay, his price won't drop until round 8. So that's when you pick him up against the West Coast game. And then he's going to play against GWS as a problem. But then he's got North and Richmond. He's got 2 easy games there. And against Richmond, he's got history, okay? He can go 160s. So you want to grab him before... you want to get him by round 8. You want him by then, okay? So it's going to be tough. I know it's hard to bring him in. You've got to find cash. Now, we keep going down the order here. Okay, and there's no one else. Okay, at Essendon, well, they got Ridley coming this week as well, so that's going to cause more havoc for the Spud. Okay, but don't worry about that for now. There's only 2 players Supercoach relevant this year. One is a Spud and one is a Stud. Okay, the Stud is the one you want. Now, let's move over to St Kilda, and we'll talk about the defenders in a minute. Jack Steele. If you started Jack Steele, you're laughing. Okay, you are a very happy customer. Okay, Jack Steele's got 3 games all above 120 or 120. It's just gone nuts. Problem with Jack Steele is the ceiling isn't there. Okay, the 120s are there. Okay, but the 140s and the 150s aren't there. So you can't really make him captain. He's a good M8. All right, but he's not going to destroy you if you don't have him. You want better than Jack Steele in your team. So he's not a player that you're going to bring in. A player like Meritt is a player you want to bring in, all right? A player like Jack Steele is a player you want to start with. And he's done. And if you have started with him, you've done well. But I wouldn't look at bringing him in, okay? I would actually look at upgrading him later on his buy. So if you got him, hold him. If you don't have him, it's a pass, okay, with Jack Steele. Now, let's go to Riley Bonner, okay? Last week he was absolutely terrible, okay? One of the biggest spuds I've ever seen. This week, 29 kicks and 3 handballs. You're going to ask me what happened, all right? How did this happen, okay? And Wangani Milera, what happened to him, all right? 13 kicks and 7 handballs. What happened to Milera, okay? I'll tell you what happened. Last week, Riley Bonner was playing on the left-hand side because he's left footer, okay? And they had Wangani Milera playing on the right-hand side. When St Kilda attack or go forward, they usually go forward from the right-hand side. It's very rare you see him go from the left-hand side. It's always from the right. And I don't know why. It doesn't make sense. It could be a coincidence, okay? But that's what happens. So Milera last week on the right-hand side was killing it, okay? He was going nuts on the right-hand side. He was going kick after kick. But when he went to the left-hand side, he didn't get much ball, okay? 13 kicks, 7 handballs, only 20 touches, okay? Whereas Bonner, he was on the right-hand side. The ball was virtually following him, okay? Because he was in the right areas. That's why he got 29 kicks and 3 handballs. If he didn't have the 6 clangers, he'd actually be on about 130, okay, Bonner. Now, the problem is... in the last quarter, they switched. Bonner went to his normal position on the left side, and Wangani Milera to the right-hand side. And that's when you would have noticed that Milera, his points increased. Okay, so he had a better last quarter. That's because he switched back to his proper position. Now, in that position, Sinclair also has that position. So you got 3 of these players fighting to get the half-back line, okay, the role. Sinclair played centre-half-back. Also played half-back on both wings, okay, left and right. Very hard to work out. And probably the reason Milera played on the left is because Sinclair played on the right. So it's very hard to work out where they're going to play, which position. It's very risky to have either one of these. I can't see Sinclair being a top 6 this year for this reason. And Milera, he's going to have big games, okay, when he's on that right side. On that left side, he's not going to have big games. It's very hard for a player that's right-footed to play on the left-hand side. It's not easy, okay? So it didn't suit him. Now, going further down, you look at Rowan Marshall. If you've got him, okay, don't panic, okay? Just calm it down, okay? Because he had 117 fantasy points. That's huge. He had 27 hitouts. Hitouts wasn't a problem. Problems here, the clangers, 14 of them, because he had 12 contested possessions as well, okay? 2 clearances. The clangers and the disposal efficiency, 50%, it let him down and also let you down. That's why he scored so bad, 79. Really, the game that he played, it's really a 130 game. It was a big game, okay? It just doesn't show it, okay? That's a problem. So just hope next time Marshall plays these clangers, you don't get 14 of them. 5 or 6 is manageable, but not 14. 14 is a loss of 14 times 4. That's 52 points lost on clangers. You're looking about 130 plus there, okay? So anyway, that's Rowan Marshall. So don't panic if you got him. The player there, you should panic if you got him, is, where is he? Winhager. This is a problem. If you got him in, you gambled. Okay, I don't mind anyone gambling. Okay, gambling, if it's not fun, don't do it. Just calm it down. Gamble responsibly now. Winhager, you gambled. It didn't work out. Cut your losses. Okay, and let him go. Plus, he's got a week suspension as well. He's holding up a defensive spot. In a defensive spot, you're going to move Roberts there. You're going to move McCurcher there. You can even put Hummus there, or Kummus, whatever his name is. There's a lot of players going to move there this year. Winhager is not the right one, and he's not cheap. He's at 250k-ish. Swapping that to a 123k rookie, bank the 123k, and just go elsewhere, okay? It didn't work out. Cut your losses, okay? You tried, it doesn't work. It doesn't matter. At least you tried. Now, going further down, we've got Darcy Wilson. Scored a 25. Now, that's really disappointing. This one hurt, okay? Hurt our wallets. We needed Wilson to go big. We need Wilson to go big next week, or else we're doomed. Because in round 6 and round 7, we want to do upgrades. And the score he's going to score, look, this 25, is stuck for that round 6 cycle. Next week's score is even more important. If he scores badly next week, he's almost tradable, okay, is useless, because we're not going to use his cash until round 8, round 9, so that's a problem. We now go to Port Adelaide versus Melbourne, and this was a very interesting game, okay. Now, Willem Drew is driving me nuts, not because I want him. He's taken up Ollie Wines' spot in that midfield, and it's killing me. Now, Willem Drew, he tags every week. And he follows the person, okay? He doesn't just tag. He tags non-stop, okay? He's very, very committed to his job. So this week, he tagged, where is he? He tagged somebody, a boy from here, Viney. Viney was tagged. And Viney moved out of the midfield because he couldn't stand it anymore. He went to the forward line. And then Drew followed him there, okay? So it doesn't let him go, okay? So he was stuck on Viney. Once Viney moved to the forward line, that's when Ollie Wines moved into the middle. Ollie Wines is not going to have that midfield spot until Drew's opponent is out of that middle, okay? Because Drew is following an opponent. We've got a problem with Drew right now, if you own Wines, that is. Now, Dan Houston. I want to talk about Dan Houston. Let's have a look at his stats. Now, he's priced at 593k. His break-even was 114. He just went under that. So he's going to be priced about 588k. So not much difference in price, all right? The thing with Dan Houston, his scoring hasn't been sensational, okay? Against 2 teams that give up a lot of points to defenders, West Coast and Richmond, he didn't do much. Melbourne give up points to defenders. he didn't do much. Okay, now that's a problem. With Houston, his problem, it's not that he can't play. Okay, he has a bigger problem. His problem is Burton. Okay, and his other problem is Farrell. There's three of them. Farrell's taking some kick-ins. Burton is taking some kick-ins. They're all sharing. Houston had to go up the ground to get a lot of his touches this week. It wasn't working for him in defence. He's a gun. He's a jet. But he only had 18 touches. It was a tough game for him. Melbourne played a very good game this week, and they blocked all the passages. So Houston wasn't able to run freely. And you could see Farrell didn't even do anything. 11 kicks, no handballs, no run-ons, nothing. Even Burton, 13 kicks, 6 handballs. Their defenders didn't get much of the ball. So Houston couldn't get much of the ball. But if you got Houston, don't panic. Okay, he's a Jets, so he's gonna give you those 130s, even those 170s ceiling games one day. They'll come. But luckily for us, they haven't come. If you're a non-owner, they haven't come yet, so you can still grab him. And he is gonna have bad games as well, where he goes 70, like Farrell just did. Okay, because there's three of them. They're all sharing. Similar to St Kilda, they're all sharing. Now, let's talk about Connor Rozee and Zach Butters. You got nothing to worry about. Okay, these two are Jets. The only thing you worry about is your disappointment this week because they didn't go 150 or 130, especially Butters. People captained him. Some people vice-captained him and then had to go to the Bond who let you down. So these two let you down big time. Rozee hasn't really done much this year yet, okay? It's coming, I suppose, but we haven't seen it. So if you got Rozee, you probably should be a little bit worried, okay? I don't think he's a top 8 midfielder, whereas Butters is. Now, with Butters and Rozee, I saw on Twitter people getting very angry. And they were smashing my guitars. They borrowed them. They were smashing them. It wasn't working. Just calm it down. So I felt sorry for them. They're all my friends, and I could see them all heartbroken. They were very sad. They had a sad puppy face. They looked very sad. So what I did, I'll show you what I did. So I said, because I don't like seeing my friends on Twitter suffering, and I said, Butters, do something. So I smashed the guitar for them, and funnily enough, he scored 32 points in 8 minutes. He went nuts, but then he stopped again. But I can't help that, okay? It's not my fault. I did the same for Rozee. They both lifted, but they didn't go nuts. But at least I got to 100, so it's better than nothing, okay? Let's talk about Ollie Wines. Actually, let's have a look at Ollie Wines' 3 scores. And mind you, Ollie Wines was on 90 points at three-quarter time. He went to 96. The Spud, 6 points in the last quarter. The last 5 minutes when the game was close, have a guess where Ollie Wines was, okay? He was sitting on the bench, peeling bananas and oranges. That's all he was doing. He was just had it out. He'd lost all his points. He didn't want to play, just cover down. The Spud. Anyway, let's have a look at his scores. Now, he scored a 94, 99, and now a 96, okay? It's something about him. He doesn't want to go 100, okay? He's just upset. You know what it is? We didn't pay enough for him, so I think he got offended that his price is so cheap. So he's just scoring in 90s. The problem with that is it's good enough for now, so we have to accept it because the rookies on field scoring 25s and 30s, they're going to kill us. So I'm actually thinking about holding him for another week, maybe even 2 weeks, just until, especially this week, it's best 22. You need some players that can score. You don't want to have too many rookies on field. I want to get the rookies off. So you can't have Wines off the field, replace him with another primo, and keep those rookies on field. Those rookies have to go. So I'm probably going to have to hold Wines another week. I'll discuss that in my trading video coming up. Okay, and I'll discuss my plans and my thoughts. Now, at Port Adelaide, besides the two big boys, Houston, Rozee and Butters, and the Spud Wines, okay, there's nobody else of interest, okay. They got Jackson Mead, he's not doing nothing. Some people may have started him, or if you have, you should have got rid of him by now. But there's nobody else, okay. So let's move over to Melbourne now, okay. Let's go to Max Gawn. Now, I had a problem, okay. Max Gawn scored 177 Supercoach points. That's not a problem if you own him, okay? It's a problem if you don't. I know what it feels like when a player scores 175 and you don't own them. Because last week I saw Butters do it, and I also saw Jackson do it. So it kills, it hurts. It's like a stick. It's like someone just backstabbing you with a knife. Okay, so Gawn did it to the non-owners this week, and you'll be so upset if you don't own him. So you're going to have to find a way to get him in, because let's have a look at his break-even. Actually, his break-even was 60, okay? That's huge. He's going to go up about 40 or 50k. So he's going to be about 640, 635-ish. It's still cheap, would you believe? Because forget the cheapness. You just can't watch these scores, okay? 177. What else has he scored this year? Where are these scores? Okay, here we go. He scored 72 in round 0. All right, that put people off. That was, you probably started him. Saw him score 72 and you got put off. Okay, that's what happened. Then he scored a 162 and you go, oh my God, what have I done? Just coming down. Okay, but then you score 113 and you said, okay, maybe he's not that good. Okay, but then you see another one. So what are you going to do now? Okay, he's got some good games coming up. Look at these. He's got Geelong, Carlton and West Coast, a triplet coming up, and Richmond. 4 of them are easy to score against, although in a practice game against Naismith had his measure a little bit, okay, but still, these are 4 easy games. Then he's got Adelaide, okay, that's another easy one to score against. So the only tough one's going to be the Brisbane game. Mind you, his highest score is 215 against them, so you're going to have to get him in, okay? It doesn't matter what you do. He has to come in because he's going to ruin your season if you don't have him. Last year, I didn't have English, and that killed me. But this is worse than English, okay? This is a player scoring. English didn't score 170s or 160s. At least he went at 140s. But this player's going nuts. He has to come in. Now, I don't care how you do it, okay? You got to find a way. If it means you're going to trade out Jackson, just do it. You have to find a way. Now, we go further down, and we go to Petrarca. Now, at quarter time, looked like Petrarca was going to have a huge game. He slowed down. I don't know what it was this week. Look at the midfielders. None of the midfielders scored. I mean, what's the highest scoring midfielder here? You got Petrarca 97, Oliver 92. Where's the points gone? No one at Port scored. No one went big. Salem. I mean, if you still got Salem, oh my God, just cover down, get rid of him. Now there's no one here. I mean, midfielders all died. So there must have been not much action in the middle, okay? Everything was probably on the wings or in defence. I don't know what's going on. But a player to look at is Clayton Oliver now, okay? 92. Let's have a look at Clayton Oliver. Now, Oliver last week lost 48k, all right? And that's good for us, okay, as non-owners. He's only owned by 3%, so not many people own him, okay? They shouldn't own him anyway, but they do. So 3% own him. He lost 48k. He scored, hasn't been much yet, hasn't come in, it's not in the groove yet. It's a 90, 105 and 82. Now, this week, he's going to lose another 33k, all right? So he's going to be, because that's what he scored, 90 odd anyway. So he's going to be at 590-ish k. The following week, he's probably going to lose another 20k. He'll be about 570k by then. And that's pretty much going to be his bottom at 570k. So you've got to find 570k by the time he plays against Richmond in round 7 to bring him in, all right? 570k is the mark. 570, 575k. It should be easily achieved, okay? You should be able to do this. We probably need 3 trades to bring him in. The way our rookies are making money now, because you can't trade out the good ones. You have to trade out the crap ones. Just come down. Well, the question also becomes, is Oliver a top 8 midfielder this year? I can't even answer that. Okay, I don't even know. So let's say he drops to 570k. You pick him up, he still scores 90s. It wasn't a good trade then, is it? So maybe with Oliver, wait till he scores a 130 or 140, then bring him in. Okay, so maybe don't target him for round 8. Wait till he does something first, okay? Because you have to see it. You can't anticipate because the plan from the start of the year was to bring him in. But if he's not performing and not producing the goods, there's no point. So we'll see how he goes. Now, going further down, Salem was a trap, okay? If there are still owners out there that have Salem, I think it's time to part ways. He's scoring like a rookie, okay? 70 is not enough. So he's got to go. Going further down, Caleb Windsor. He's letting you... He luckily kicked the goal, okay? That goal's probably worth 20 points when he kicked it. So he was going to score in the 30s. He's not doing it either, all right? And he's not cheap. He was about 170k. So these are not scores you want for 170k. Marty Hoare is going to be a slow burn. We're not going to make much out of him, okay? So just going to be patient because there's nobody else. And Billings. Let's talk about Billings. Now, he got subbed out. You know why he got subbed out? Because he was useless, okay? I mean, that game that he scored that 130 points, he had what was it, 14 or 15 marks. That was a very unusual stat. I looked through his history. He never took 15 marks in his life, okay, except for that one game, and that's when he scored 130. He's a big trap, okay, and luckily, a friend of mine actually told me this, okay, Billy, if you're listening, he told me, don't get him, okay, because Billy listened to SEN, okay, and or he listened to a channel, I don't know, Fox Sports or something, and they were talking about Billings that day. And they said Billings took 15 marks uncontested. The Dogs didn't even bother putting a player on him. So he was doing whatever he wanted. That wasn't going to happen every week. Okay, and what happens when they tag him or play responsible? He only has 2 marks. And with 2 marks, you're not going to get those 130 points because they're free disposals for him. He hasn't done it last week. Didn't do it this week. He has to go. Okay, he's not the answer that you were hoping for. He's a spud, okay? He's a pretender. Now, Howes, he scored 26. This is disaster if it was best 22. Luckily, it's best 18. It didn't hurt us, but what it did do is stop his cash flow. Okay, there's a problem. Now, his previous scores have been very good, so I wouldn't be too concerned. The role's still there for him. He's going to bounce back. He'll probably never score 26 ever again. He'll do that in one quarter. So he's going to have the odd bad game. And Port Adelaide are very hard to score against. I mean, even the Port defenders, Farrell scored 33. So it was a tough game to score on. I don't know what happened in this game. Let's move over to the Western Bulldogs and the West Coast Eagles. Okay, let's go to Bevo. Okay, now Bevo, he's a funny man. Okay, Bevo. He makes people so upset. Okay, people get so upset at him. I mean, people that don't know him like me get upset at him. I mean, I don't get upset at anyone, okay? But Bevo makes me upset. Okay, I have nightmares just coming down. Now, Tim English scored 124, kicked 2 goals. Okay, 2 goals to score 124 against West Coast. I mean, this is ridiculous, okay? Because Sam Darcy has been sharing some of his duties. He played forward, played in the... I mean, English is not spending a lot of time in the ruck as he did last year. At 700k, you've got him, okay? You can't get rid of him because he's not doing bad. The problem is, this was a game that he had to go big on against no ruckman. The no ruckman, Williams, he had 25 hitouts, okay? 25 hitouts to Williams, 24 to English. What's going on? This is a 700k ruckman against Williams. English's groundwork is brilliant, but you need more than 24 hitouts, and you can't let the West Coast ruckman beat you, okay, of 25. So this didn't... something wrong, okay? I've never seen Williams actually beat anyone, okay? His first person he beat, he scored 85 points. Now, if you got Tim English, you got to keep him, okay? You can't trade him out because he's a player we're targeting, okay? That we don't have him, so he's not a player you want to trade out now for Gawn. You can't. If you got English, do not trade English to Gawn. It's not going to work, okay? Because you're gonna have to bring him back. Now, Bontempelli. Now, I don't even know how he got 110 points, okay? 3 goals. 1 was a gift, okay? So that wasn't even... They didn't even score for that, okay? 110 points for 16 touches, 4 clangers. Something wrong with the scoring, okay? Because he should have been on 90. Luckily, if you captained him, you're blessed this week having 110. But Bevo played him in the forward line. Now, during the week... he didn't train much, or if at all. Okay, so he was carrying that injury. He may carry that injury next week as well. So it's caution. Okay, so maybe don't vice captain him next week until you see that he's going to play that midfield. We might have a few bad games coming from him. If you're a non-owner, you are laughing right now because you can bring him in a little bit cheaper, maybe 650k soon. Now, Libba, he scored 98. He was on 90 when he got subbed out, and he scored 8 points, peeling the oranges and bananas on the bench. Okay, I don't know how he got 8 points. I mean, check this out. Libba was on 90, all right? He got subbed out. He went to 98. The player that took over from Libba for a whole quarter was Caleb Poulter, okay? He scored 8 points for the whole quarter. Libba scored 8 points doing just peeling the oranges. Okay, Poulter had to work hard, and he scored 8 points. So how does that work out? How does a player have 4 kicks and score 8 points while that player does nothing, peels oranges, and also gets 8 points? I don't understand. Anyway, that's what happened. And if you got Libba, you'd be bleeding. Okay, how do they sub him out? I mean, if he's injured, don't play him. Okay, at least tell people, look, he's injured. We're not going to play him. But you don't just sub him out. It doesn't make any sense. Now, let's go further down. And there's a boy here. Actually, I probably missed him. There he is there, Bramble. He's looking the goods. Okay, 98 Supercoach points, 19 kicks, 8 handballs. Let's have a look at Bramble's heat maps. Now, he's priced at 292k with a breakout of minus 26. So let's just say he scored 100 this week. What does his price become? Well, 43k if he scored a 70. Add another 10k and another 50k. It's about 350. Say about 350k. Okay, Bramble's going to cost you. All right, roughly. It's a very awkward price right now. 350k. It's a time of the year where you want to upgrade your team. Okay, you want to bring in primos. Bringing in a mid-pricer to fill a gap, I don't think it's the way to play. Okay, I understand you don't want to field a House. Okay, you prefer a Bramble than a House. Okay, I understand. Okay, just calm it down. It makes sense. But that extra 200k that you're going to spend on Bramble, you can spend it to a primo in the midfield or even in defence. Just find some extra cash. Bringing in players like this at 350k, you do this in round 15 when you have no more cash. Okay, there's no more cash left. Okay, you look at your bank balance. There's nothing coming in. There's no cash, so you go shop at Aldi. Okay, or you shop at the markets. Okay, you bring the players in from the markets. This at the start of the season, I went to Asia. Okay, I went to China. I got the rookies in, but this time of the year, you don't do that. You go to Myers, okay. You go all the club. You go to Paris. You go to Rome. You go all to all the high class areas. You go to New York. You get the guns. You don't shop at LDM and pick up 350k players. They're not your answer. So he's not a keeper, okay. You can say he's a cash cow, all right. Well, he's already made. You've just missed out on 60k, all right. So how much more is he going to make? Is that 350k? He's not going to go to 550k because he needs to average 100 for that. He may average 100, but let's say he goes to 500k. I can't see that happening either. He might go to 450k. At 450k, he's going to make you 100k. It's going to cost you a trade to get in, a trade to get out, and it's best 18 next week. And you want players with high ceilings because we've got 2 bye rounds coming up. We've got round 5 and round 6 to come. You want the high ceiling players that are going to go 130s. You don't want these 90s and 80s and 95s. You don't want these scores. So it's a pass for me, Bramble. Okay, even though he is good, he's a player you start with, but not bring in. I'm sorry to tell you this now, but it's not the right play. I can't see any reason why you should bring him in. Okay, you have to bring in the guns. You want the best now because if you want to win Supercoach, you're going to play against teams that have the best players. Okay, because the top 200 teams will all be targeting guns. Now you're targeting a Kmart special. Okay, it's not going to work. Okay, just calm it down. Now going back to Bramble, what I didn't explain, if it was best 22, instead of best 18 next 2 games. Because round 5 and round 6, best 18 again. All right. If we had best 22, he's a player. Bramble is a player I would target. Okay, because it gets a rookie off the field. Okay, that's the whole idea. So I would 100% get Bramble in. Okay, but because we got round 5 and round 6, Bramble only serves a purpose for this week. Because in round 7, you're going to move Roberts into defence. You're going to move McCurcher into defence. They're going to score similar to Bramble anyway. So he becomes a lost cause. You don't need him. Okay, that's why I'm saying pass on Bramble. Okay, even though he's good, still pass. It doesn't suit your structure right now. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Now, going further down, a player that does suit our structure, if you started him, is Buku Kamas. Okay, what a jet. Okay, he scored 82 points. He was on 47 at half time. He had 19 touches. I mean, you can get, for 123k, a player scoring 82, or you can spend 350k and a player can score 98. When it's best 18, I'll take the 82 every day of the week, okay? Because I'd rather have, instead of a player scoring 98 for 350k, I'd rather spend 550k and get a player scoring 130s. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to explain. You want to get these butters type players in now. So if you got Karmas, you did so well, but it's too late to jump on. Okay, so you missed the boat. So the boat's sailing right now. It's shipped. It's going to Tasmania. Just come it down. Okay, now it's gone. Now next up, Sanders, okay, another Jet, okay, happy we started him, 77, you might be disappointed to say he only scored 77, 77 is brilliant for a 200k player, even less, 184k player, that's brilliant, okay, so Sanders is a Jet, and Sanders, I've asked Tim Mitchell to check it out for me, because we may get Sanders to be a DPP in the forward line, because he starts half forward a lot, so we may actually get Sanders as a forward mid this year. So he could be very handy in our forward lines. Now, going further down, we go to Jack McCrae, 59. He had 20 touches. Okay, that's not bad. 75 fantasy points. But the role's not there yet. Okay, you want him in that midfield, and if he doesn't get it, he's not worth it. Okay, Pal, that we picked up for 300k from North Melbourne, is worth it. Now, you may argue now and ask me, why do we pick up Powell for 300k and we don't want to pick up Bramble for 350k when Bramble's scoring more than Powell? Okay, you might ask me that question now. Just calm it down. I can hear it in your voice. Okay, and I can see it in your eyes. Let me explain. In our defence, in our back line, primos galore. Okay, 600k primos. There's heaps of them. Guns. You got Houston, who may not even fit into a D6. Okay, that's how good our backline is. The forward line, we have nobody. The role of Powell at 300k was to get a rookie off the field that's scoring 25s. Okay, we've got problems in the forward line. The same problems don't exist in the back line. And that's why we got Powell in last week. He was to cover the area in the forward line, which we can't cover later on unless we can't find forwards. If this boy here, Bramble, had forward DPP, I'll get him insta. Okay, straight away. No hesitation, okay? But he doesn't have that. That's why I can't get him. Now, going further down, Sam Darcy scored 54. A bit more quiet than he was last week, all right? But still good enough. Must have next week, okay? Because he's got that ruck roll. He's doing a bit of ruck work. He's virtually getting a 40% ruck time last week, maybe 30% this week. I don't know. I've got to check it out. But it's good enough. So he's not going to score you hundreds every week, okay? But he's going to make you cash. And cash cows are very hard to find right now. So if you've got a cash cow or a rookie in the forward line, like Jordan, who's not performing, downgrade him to Sam Darcy. It's not a problem. We now go to West Coast. Now, Jerry McGovern is having an unbelievable year. You can almost, at the moment, I like Jerry McGovern more than I like Houston. Okay, let's check out his stats. Now, he's priced at 470k. Well, that was last week, all right, with a break-even of 14. Scored a 120, okay? Now, what was his previous scores? 109 and 144. And that 144 against GWS, they're hard to score against, okay? And then he's got Sydney coming up, and we just saw what happened with, actually, he could be a good target this week. We just saw what Vlastuin did to Sydney. Well, this week, they're going to have to deal with this boy, okay, McGovern. Now, breaking of 14, it almost puts him in a must-have territory in the defence. He's gonna be just over 500k. I actually don't mind spending the cash on him if you've got cash. I don't know if I have cash. Okay, he's gonna go up 40k, probably more. Probably go about 50k. It'll be about 520k ish. He's probably going to be out of reach. Now, the problem with him is also he's very injury prone. Okay, because he does all those high risk jumps and intercept marks. He's fearless. And when you're fearless, you're going to cop a few injuries. But he's a jet. He takes the kick-ins as well. He's got it all. I mean, last year he had a player taking his kick-ins. That player's gone. Okay, I forgot his name, but it was the ex-captain. He's not there anymore. So he's the one now that takes the kick-ins. Okay, it's a bonus and a half. Let's have a look at the kick-ins that he's been doing. Well, last year, 2023, kick-ins. Okay, let's have a look. Shannon Hearn was the main man. He's gone. Okay, that's the man. Now, I was trying to remember his name. It's Shannon Hearn. He's gone. Okay, Witherden. He's gone. Okay, he can't even get a game. Okay, the two of the main ones are gone. So who's left? Well, let's have a look this year. Who's doing the kick-ins? McGovern is taking some, and Duggan is taking some. Okay, but McGovern's taking more. By taking more kick, even when Witherden was playing, McGovern was still taking the kick-ins. Actually, they had a big day this game against Port. McGovern took 7, Hunt took 8, and then Witherden took 6. But Hunt hasn't taken any since. Okay, he must have done a bad job. They don't want him anymore. So it's virtually McGovern and Duggan. Okay, these extra kick-ins that he's getting, that's 20 points extra. Even if it's 7, it's even more. 20 points. He's virtually playing like Luke Ryan right now. Okay, McGovern is. He's a scoring machine. Probably not as good as Luke Ryan. Okay, but his intercept marking is very solid. He's a cross between Luke Ryan and Tom Stewart. He's in the middle there. He's like a cross. Okay, mixed breed. Okay, just cover down. Now, would I get him in? Okay. Well, first thing you look at is ownership. 1%. Okay, 1,025 teams own him. There's nobody else. Okay, West Coast are going to have plenty of action. Opposition teams are going to score plenty of behinds. Okay, he's going to have a lot of intercept marks. He has other tall players besides him that can handle the big players as well. He plays centre half back, full back, but he plays up the ground. I like him a lot. I like him as much as I like Stewart, and that's saying something because I like Stewart a lot too. I think he can finish top 6 this year, and if you're going to finish top 6 and be in 1% of teams and be this cheap right now, it's a bargain. But in saying that, it is a risk because of injury history, okay? So it's a huge risk, but risk versus rewards. Okay, plus he can make cash anyway. He'll go up to 600, 650k anyway. So worst case scenario, you just trade him out later on. Now, going down the order, because there's not many players at West Coast that we want to talk about, okay, we'll go Elliot Yeo. Elliot Yeo had a good game, okay? He had 29 disposals. Problem for him is he went at 44%. If you own Yeo, don't panic, okay? Because I own Yeo, I'm not panicking. I actually liked his game, okay? He just didn't score, okay? Doesn't matter, just calm it down. I can handle it. He went at 108. He's not going to be a top 8, all right? If you started him, hold him, okay? If you didn't start him, don't bring him in, okay? He's not going to be a top 6. So he's a player that you just hold for now. But going further down, Harley Reid. He had a rough game again, 54, and he played forward, a bit of forward time, because they lost their full forward now. Oscar Allen went out, so Harley Reid played a bit of full forward, scored 54. 200k you paid for Harley Reid, 210k. These are not good scores, okay? And you're sort of stuck in no man's land. You don't know what to do with him, especially if you got if you got Billings, and you got Harley Reid. Which one do you get rid of first? So I don't know what to tell you, okay? So you got to go off the heart and work out what you want to do, because Harley Reid isn't doing what a 200k rookie should be doing. I'm just so happy I didn't start him, okay? Because it would have ruined my whole structure. We now go over to Richmond and Sydney Swans. And if we thought that McGovern was good, okay, well, there's another boy here, Nick Vlastuin, okay, here's another good one. 167. Let's have a look at his ownership. Now, he's a bit more expensive than McGovern, okay? He's 529k with a break even of 95. He's going to go up to about 540, maybe 540k-ish, okay? Maybe even more, maybe 545. A bit more expensive than McGovern, okay? Now, with Vlastuin, his scores are 118, 134, but then he's got a 71 in there, okay? So he can go up and down a bit like a yo-yo. Well, so can all the defenders, all right? Especially the tall ones. I mean, these are intercept marking players. On a day where it's going to rain, they're not going to score much, okay? So you're paying big dollars, and they could drop in value big time when it rains. Not that it rained on this game, but he just didn't score much, okay? Because Richmond defence was all over the place, okay? They weren't doing their job properly in the midfield. So the ball was coming in too quick. So Vlastuin couldn't drop back a mark. But he's good value, and he's playing against St Kilda this week, who love giving away points. He plays West Coast, who also love giving away points. Play against Melbourne, got 3 easy games coming up. But Vlastuin is also injury prone, very similar to McGovern. So you're getting players at a high risk. He's owned by 2% of teams, not much. Okay, so he's another high-risk player. It's okay to have 1 or 2 high-risk players in your team, because they make a difference, especially if nothing happens to them. Okay, so it is a risk. We have 40 trades this year. You can take the risk, but you can't get him because he's got the bye coming up. That's another problem. We got a Tim Taranto, scored a 128. First time he actually did something there for Richmond this year. He's had a shocking start to the year, but all of a sudden he's become good again. But he's no good. Not top 8. Okay, if he was a forward, straight away you get him, but he's not. Shai Bolton, he's going to be one of those players. Depends what mood he's in. Okay, so he's going to be up and down like a yo-yo as well, but he's in scintillating form right now. Going further down, Baker has forward status. Okay, but Baker, he's also up and down. We've seen that. There's not much at Richmond, okay? And the one that some people do have, okay, is not doing much, okay? That's Jaden Short, 60. Disappointing, okay? And he played in defence. He doesn't have the kick-ins no more. Vlastuin's got all of them. If Vlastuin doesn't take it, then Rioli does. Short, you've got to trade him out. He's a problem, okay? Big problem if you got him. Now, going further down, Seth Campbell scored 43. He went at 42% disposal efficiency. This game that he played, probably worth about a 60 or 70. So I was actually very disappointed of his score. I was hoping he could do much better. But it doesn't matter. His score didn't count for the best 18, but it stopped his cash flow. That is the problem. Now, Lafau, 102k, rookie, scored a 39. Kicked 2 goals. He's not going to be a high-scoring cash cow. He actually got subbed out. So probably a pass. If you're thinking about getting him in as a cheapo, probably a pass. Unless you're desperate. Okay, you got no one else to bring in. Okay, then bring him in. Okay, there's nobody else. But otherwise, he's a pass. Now, if you go further down, we have Sonzi. He scored a 33. That's not much. He was a star. It was a star in the reserves last week, but these days everyone's a star in the reserves. You got to do it in the seniors. 150k. I had a watch of him, look at him really close. He didn't get the midfield minutes. Okay, it doesn't look like he's going to get the midfield minutes. Probably a pass. Okay, on Sonzi. Now, let's go to Sydney. Okay, this is where the big boys are. Isaac Heeney. Okay, let's take a look. Now, Isaac Heeney went up 61k last week. break even of 45 and scored 140 odd, nearly 150. He's only in 34% of teams. Now, I don't understand how 66% of teams are watching him right now and not smashing their computers or smashing their TVs or doing something. That would be furious right now. He's become unwatchable if you don't own him, okay? You virtually want to turn off the game. You can't watch Isaac Heeney if you don't own him. It's disaster, okay? He has the best role. He even goes forward and kicks goals and just gets 20 points for him because he takes a screamer. That's 8 points. Then kicks a goal, another 9 points, 17 points. He just scores for fun. Now, he's going to be 700k soon, in no time. He's going to go up. Well, it says 34k. It's going to be about 45k. Another 10k, 580k this week, maybe 585. He was 480k when we picked him up. Okay, you had your chance then to get him. He's going to be ungettable. You can't get him soon. Okay, he's got West Coast this week. Okay, if he goes nuts against West Coast, how are you going to get him in? Okay, it's going to be impossible. So you got to find a way. There are players that are must-haves. If you don't have Gawn, and if you don't have Heeney, okay, you've got to smash some things and get him in. Now we go to Grundy, and take note of Grundy, 114. That's not bad, okay. Take a look here. Free kicks against 0. Okay, that's unbelievable. This is Grundy. Okay, the week I traded him out, he goes nuts, but I have no regrets trading out Grundy. I got Sherry, and I was able to get Pal with the money. I wouldn't have Pal, so I have no regrets whatsoever. But Grundy, if you've got him, you got to hold him now. He got his break even, so just got to stick to him and trade him out on his buy and try to get a better ruckman. All right, probably English if you can, and English drops in price. Now, Matt Roberts, what a star. Okay, Matt Roberts scored 98, 27 touches, takes kick-ins, moves up the ground. He is just a jet. Okay, he's better. Like for 150k, what did I just click on? Okay, I don't know what I just did. Okay, he's better than players like Short or other players, even better than 500k players. This Roberts, and he's only 150k. Problem is he's not going to be top 6, but you can keep him in your back line till he's by. Okay, all the way down, hold him there. He's going to score you high. That's what you want. So he's the perfect player to have. Now, how many players own Roberts, you may be asking? Let's have a look. Now, he's only owned by 48% of teams. This is sad, okay, because I'm not blaming you for not having him. I'm just sad that you'd be sad on him, okay, because even this week he was cheap, 225k. Even though he went up 70k, he was still a must-have. Now it's too late, okay? That horse is bolted because now you want to pick up guns and rookies. So he's going to be 285k this week. It's too expensive now, okay? You can't get him. And then he plays West Coast. Oh my God, it gets better for him. Just coming down. Anyway, look at his scores. He scored 94 last week and 90 odd this week. 2 weeks back to back. These are like nearly he's scoring better than Wines. Okay, can you work this out? Now that's Roberts. Then we look at Errol Gulen. He scored a 73, and you may say, I've got him on my radar. I want to get him in. But I would say to you, don't. At the start of the year, when I was first doing my videos, he was actually one of my first ones. Picked in my team. Problem of Gulen, all right, is here. 8 contested possessions. He's not a contested beast. He's more of an outside player. He's not doing it this year, okay? And there are much better options than Gulen. Even if Gulen drops to 500k, I wouldn't be interested. If he dropped to 400k in round 15 when I've got no cash left, okay, I probably will be interested and add him as a spare, okay? But I wouldn't want to have him in my top 8 because these scores, 73s, they're not good. When he scores 140s, they're the ones I like, okay? But he's going to be up and down with those scores. He's going to score you 140 one week and then a 73 the next week. That's disaster, okay? You don't know what to do with him. So he's a player you want to have as a spare, on your bench when your team's all finished and you got extra cash. That's the kind of player he is for me, anyway. Now, James Jordan, all right, he's still got his 65, all right, but now his price is about 350k or about 340k. It's time to let him go. Okay, 65. Would you pay 340k for James Jordan? Okay, you wouldn't. Okay, so why would you keep him? Okay, so you have to get rid of him. Okay, so 65, he has to go. So this week, I'm going to trade him out, get the cash, and then work out who I want to bring in. Try to get in McGovern if I can, or try to get in Flanders if I can. One of the two. I don't know which one I want, so I'll work it out. But Jordan is a no good. Okay, so it's a pass for me, and that's pretty much it with Sydney. Now with my team, okay, we've scored a 2014. All right. Now I'm happy with that because this week I was expecting to score a lot less. All right, I've got Raul on the bench. I've got Green on the bench. I've got two of my big guns. So a lot of teams don't have these two. Okay, so I've got two big guns, and it's killed me, but I've still survived. Okay, so I got 2014. We're happy with that. We'll take it. Okay, every day of the week. Okay, now we have Carroll on the bench as the emergency, scoring at 65. Now we've now got to work out: do we keep Carroll here, or do we bring in Clark? Which one of the two now? Let's work it out. Okay, now. On field, the four lowest scores. How much do we have? We've got a 25 from Wilson, that's one. We've got a 43 from Campbell, because he's got the emergency there. All right, so that's two. So we've got two scores are low. We've got a 26 from Howes, which is taken out. That's three. All right, three scores are gone. So what's left? We have a 65 from Jordan, which matches the 65 from Carroll. So in reality, so we've got four scores at 65 or under. So Carroll's score, if we put him on field, it's not going to make a difference. He's going to have the same score as Jordan. So what I can do now, all right, is take out Green, all right, and put Clark in there, all right. Now my score is still the same, 2014. Now the only reason I'm putting Clark in there is if any chance he scores an 80, okay, which I really doubt, okay, but you never know, okay. So if he scores an 80, we gain an extra 15 points. So that's why we've got Clark on field. Otherwise, it's just going to be the same score. So anything above 65, our score starts adding up. Okay, that's the reason we've got Clark on field now. Now, going to our matchups, okay, and let's have a look at how we're going. Now, Supercoach of DR playing against Dan, the Dashing Donkeys. I think I've got him covered this week. He had unfortunate captain choice, so it didn't work out for him. Now, Golden Child. Okay, well, the Golden Child, that's Josh's team. Looks like I have him covered as well. Actually, well, it depends. If he has a big game from one of his players that's left, he may beat me still, so just cover down. Now, Angeline, the FASD Warriors. I think I've got this one covered. The Scodfather Legends. Okay, Crouchers Trelaw, that's MJ. Okay, he's had a bad week. Okay, so we've got him covered. We've got a percentage booster. Just cover down. Okay, he's had one of his, I think he got the wrong captain as well. Now, going further down, my friend Yanko, who was projected to score 2,000 at the start of the week. Things didn't work out for him. He may still come back, my friend. Just do something. Now, if you go further down, Scott Cup 4. We've got Ruben Gimbies. Matthew, 1656. He's having a rough week this week. We'll go further down. Scodfather Cup number 5. Whole lot of Rozee. Okay, well, got a chance. We might lose this one because if we look at his team, he's still got Massimo, okay? If Massimo goes at 100, he's got me covered, okay? So, whole lot of Rosee's got a chance. Just cover down. Now, let's get back. Hopefully it doesn't freeze this time. Okay, let's get back to matchups. Have we missed anybody? Okay, let's have a look. That's Cup 5. Cup 6. We got Big Wheel probably a chance to beat us as well. 2002 it says, but also got Massimo. So we just want Massimo to go bad this week because we're in trouble because there's 2 games. And it looks like womb to the tomb. Okay, that's a Ruins team. Okay, it looks like they're in a bit of trouble as well. Now, we're not going to be reviewing tomorrow's game between Hawthorn and Geelong. Okay, we're not going to review that game because there's nobody of interest. There's only 2 players in there that are really Supercoach relevant. That's Stewart and that's Massimo. And Massimo, you can't get him after next week anyway, so he doesn't become relevant no more. So Stewart's the only one. Tomorrow, in my video, I'll be doing my trades, what I'm going to do. Okay, I've got to work out where to trade now. It's best 22 next week. So when you got best 22, you want to get these 26s off the field, okay? So how many do we have? How many problem players do we have? We have Howes, we have a Wilson, but a Cadman might cover him. Then we've got Sexton. So we've got one problem here, all right? We've got Jordan we're going to get rid of, okay? We're going to bring in the Western Bulldogs young gun. Okay, he's going to come in here for Jordan. It's going to free up some cash. Then we have an option. Do we upgrade Wines to a primo, or do we get rid of a player like a 26 off the field? Okay, and I much prefer to keep Wines and get rid of one of these players for a best 22. We'll see how we go. Now, if you're having a bad week this week, all right, or if you're having a good week, don't be too concerned because these are the buy rounds, all right? Because even in the experts, the best players, the best that we've got, okay, even they have bad weeks. When they have good weeks, all right? So we can see here, we've got a big game coming up here between Damon Jackson and Ben from Supercoach Insiders, and Ben's getting married this week, so he's probably not even looking at the team. Congrats to Ben as well on his wedding. So they got a close game coming up, 1951, 1984. It looks like Ben's just in front. Actually, I think actually Damon's won this game. How does Ben get 1890, a higher projection, when their commons have all played? I don't understand. How do these projections work? Can someone explain this to me? Okay. Now, have a look at this. Damon's score is 1892. Ben's is 1890. But Ben has a higher projection. But how? When they've got the same players to play. Unless Ben's going to use Carroll. That's probably how. Ben's going to use the Carroll somehow. That's how it works. Something like that. I can't work it out, all right? Now, Bryce Mitchell against Jackson Davey. Well, Jackson looks like he's got that one covered. It's going to be a close game. And Selby, he's having a big week. That's what I mean. When you have a bad week, it's going to all turn around for you. You're going to have a good week. Selby had 2 bad weeks, and now he's having a monster week. Okay, he's going to go about 2100 the way he's going. He played against the Mini Monk. Okay, so Mini Monk could be in trouble this game. Supercoach of DR against JP. Now JP struggling again against Supercoach of DR. Okay, so it's going to be a close game. JP got a lift. Now, Daniel Batten against Pistol. That's a close one. Looks like Pistol's got that covered, but Daniel Batten's winning at the moment, but obviously Pistol has an extra player. Now, Alistair, or Al Payton, finished on 2012. Looks like he's got my boy Mick covered. My poor boy Mick. Okay, horses for courses, just do something. Now, we've got MJ covered. Now, MJ's had a bad week. And as you can see, even the best players, they can have a bad week, okay? We're humans as well. Now, Januf is having a close game against Stephen, as you can see. Projections are 1932, 1898. My boy here, Swizz, against Jord. It's a close one. Actually, has Swizz got this covered? They've got the same player. Actually, Swizz is going to win by 3 points. Okay, Jord's going to be upset. Just come it down. Now, let's have a look over here. We've got centre bounce Joe. He's had a poor start to the year as well, but he's going to bounce back because that's why it's called centre bounce. And Joe's a gun player, so he'll bounce back. And play against Tim Mitchell. Now, Tim Mitchell's had 2 good weeks. So this week, he's having a tough game. Their matchup, actually, the game's over. Okay, Joe's got this game covered because they've got the same players. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. That's all we have. I hope your team, your players, your stars and your spuds all go nuts tomorrow. Just come down. They will. That's all for today. Thank you for joining. And remember one thing. It's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. Ciao for now.
That's all, folks.